What's good, family? You know, I want to talk to you about detoxing, y'all. From everything that's externally, not forever, but for a season. For you to, call your energy back. Your energy is the most important thing, y'all. It dictates your physical existence. You know, everything is an illusion if you believe that. But your presence dictates more than what's to be. And that's what, not everybody, has a lot of energy, family. Your power, y'all, it lies and the things you believe in. But your power also relies in the things you harnessed, which is your energy. And that's why it was always tough for you to never let it go, family. That's why, in this season, family, detox from phones, social media, not the game, but yes, the game, because it can distract you in a way to where you're not focused on self, y'all. The ego, yes, enjoy it, but take care of your higher self, because your higher self is never appreciated in this world. And that's what people don't tell you about the higher self, family. The higher self is like a glitch, and once you tap in, you glitch the codes or the system, because it can't contain you. When you are uncontainable, y'all, you are like, a box that's unflammable, y'all. When you pour water on that hole and that bitch explodes, because you already came, with built up pressure, That's your energy, family. But you become someone truly, as you want to say, dangerous, family, to society, because nothing can distract you or pull you back to who you once were, family. This world, I'm pretty sure y'all, if you lived out for a long time, there's a lot of people who are not so much go-getters. That's why you may rely on social media for inspiration. You don't see people like real life hustlers, y'all. In the real world, most of them are struggling, or they're just tired and sad. You don't learn from people like that, y'all. You get stuck and you stay stuck, learning from the people that you are around. That's why it's important, y'all, to take what you are getting and change your environment, y'all, by changing what the fuck you're doing. How do you think they're looking at you, y'all? Because they see you changing. It might offend them. Oh well, y'all. You're not meant to be shrunk. You're meant to be, so spread out to where the world, can contain you, y'all. Because what is your purpose of living here, y'all? If you're, gonna stay invisible forever, y'all, you came here for a reason. We're all gonna be invisible again one day. But you can always leave an impact, family? So, master what you can do, y'all, while you are here. You're limited in this realm, y'all. You can only do so many things. So why not leave a legacy behind, y'all? I always talk about this in my videos because it is something that is heartfelt. Man, they never chase, their goals or aspirations, y'all, because they're stuck outside themselves most of their entire lives, y'all, chasing shit outside of them. These fucking bitches, these women, anything you want that you, are craving, it's always gonna be here. Maybe in your mind, but if you get it, then what, family? You're always gonna want more. So learn to be happy with yourself, y'all. You can never fully be happy if you don't, appreciate your presence. The Most High exists within you. So, get closer to that, family. You're not lacking nor missing direction, y'all. You're just not seeking it, y'all. You gotta be the one to take control of your life, family. That's what I'm telling y'all, or reminding y'all to detox and leave that shit, alone for a while, family. Because that shit was just a tactic, made in the first place to extract your mind. They don't want no thinker. And that's why your mind's not even thinking, y'all, because you're scrolling this shit all day. You're paying attention. You're giving your energy away, y'all, because you're giving your attention away to things that ain't helping you, because you're just staying stuck, stagnant, and comfortable, family. But it's something to think about, y'all. Real men are gonna use their time and multiply and you know, conquer, y'all. But you know, it's not easy for the average being, y'all, when there's so much shit put in place around him, you know, to get them outside of themselves, family. And that's when the battle truly begins. Because you can be attacked in many ways. You can be attacked mentally. You can be attacked physically, y'all, or energetically, y'all. You know, with the phones, y'all, you know, them lustful spirits can pull energy right out of you, family, if you don't love yourself enough to keep it in you, you know, and that's just how it is. You know, everybody has felt for that before, y'all. But if you are strong and wise, so you learn from that, so it don't happen again and again and again, y'all, because you know, you can't say you're something if you don't see your worth, family. I repeat, you must see your worth, family, before everybody else sees it. You know, everybody who likes my videos, watches them, comments, you know, tells me to, you know, keep going. Well, that's because I see my worth in myself, family. And when I push it out, you know, y'all appreciate it because, you know, I'm brightening y'all days up, y'all. I'm reminding you that, you know, in a world like this, you have power beyond what society's trying to tell you. And that's why nobody's out in this world preaching, because they don't feel it. You gotta feel something to describe it, you know? Even then, y'all, you still couldn't perceive what someone's telling you, y'all, because even the information that someone gives you, y'all, is energy. And energy's gonna either be low or high. If the energy is high informational energy, you can't perceive it, y'all. If your body's constantly at a low energetic state, you know, it's like staying at a solid, but trying to see gas, you know, it ain't gonna happen. But, you know, things I would tell y'all to do, you know, because I've been on, you know, a detox, y'all, you know, I've let my phone go, and I'm not saying, you know, I gave it up, I put it down, y'all. I use it to build up myself. I don't use it to watch others because it's holding me back, y'all. You know, the energies to build me, not to, you know, watch others, y'all, and stay comfortable, because then I'm watching everybody else, y'all. You know, exactly what you should be doing right now, family. If you're watching this video, you know, I'm pretty sure you're questioning that, or that thought just hit you, like, what the fuck am I doing? You know, do I really want to do this? Depends on you, family, but you have better clarity whenever you detox, family, from the phones especially, y'all, because your visual prowess, y'all, which are your eyes, they can now focus on things that you are trying to focus on, because you are implanted here physically, y'all. You can now focus. You know, when you're on the phone, y'all, you're distracted, or you can be. If you don't agree, well then, you know, state your opinion, but it's what it is, family. You know, not everybody will feel this, but if you can detox, your life will improve, because you will feel better knowing that life back then, y'all, there was no phones. You know, your ancestors didn't have phones, y'all. You know, that's really deep to think about, y'all, because now you question what the fuck was they doing? You know, why is life so boring now? You know, how could they deal with that boredom? Because boredom is a superpower, y'all. It's the ability to, you know, understand and, you know, study that feeling and why you feel that way in that moment. Because boredom, you know, it's just you having to, you know, accept your terms of reality. Everybody's reality is different, y'all. That's why there's some beings who are highly aware, and there's some beings that can't step foot around beings like that, because they see things differently, y'all. One has the glasses on that sees the universe's codes. One is living life by how they was brought upon in the world, y'all. So they don't know much. It's not that they don't have nothing good about them. They are still strong as fuck. It's just without them knowing it fully. So, you know, it causes them to feel, you know, stagnant in that moment, you know. But I'm never going to tell you that you don't have power, because your power is in the actions you take. Your power is in your words and how you describe to others the feelings you get daily, y'all, when you truly put yourself first. One thing I noticed about this generation, y'all, most men die in this generation either trying to, you know, impress a woman, you know, do things or should I say do things in a way to where you're feeling like you're gonna do too much to get in a position, to be around other beings, y'all. But your presence is so much, worth. You shouldn't have to beg no being or, feel like you are not, tolerated to be around other people. No, y'all. This world is reversed. People, they hang around others, y'all, because that's how we were brought upon. But in reality, you should get to know yourself, fall in love with self, and then you fall in love with other beings because you treat others how you treat yourself. If you have no love for self, y'all, well then you don't care about others. And that's why, those beings you are around make you feel whole in a way because, well, you can compare your life to them and then you ain't gonna change it, That's how deep this rabbit hole goes, family. So, not only detox from, phones, people, places, just get your mind right, y'all. Study, read a book, y'all. Go outside, go take deep breaths, go run, go take a good shower that's cold, y'all. Go do something that's gonna take your mind off of things that's holding you back, But this was the video. I just wanted to remind you that, this world, y'all, it's darkening, y'all. Everything around you, it's gonna either uplift you or it's gonna keep you thinking about it. But just keep moving forward, y'all, because we're all moving forward, whether we like that or not, family. There's nothing we can do about it, but keep pushing, stay strong. Anything you should have at your arsenal is humble. Be humble, but stay strong with the presenting of the message, family, because I truly do believe what I mean, y'all. Detox from things that you feel like holding you back. Even food, y'all, if you're eating certain things that you are not, know you shouldn't be eating, put it down, family, because it will save your avatar, y'all. You are in control of what you have. So protect it while you have it, because you ain't gonna have it forever, family. One day you will remember that. But if you've been watching to the end, I appreciate y'all, man, for sticking to the end. And you matter. You're the reason why this world functions in brightness instead of darkness.